Good day, guys. This is Richard's Corner. Thanks for visiting. My name is Richard, and this is another haul video. All the items found today were from my friends at Value Village here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. So yes, being a thrifty-oriented collector, I get lucky by frequenting the Value Village a lot, and this is actually one of many hauls that I haven't put away yet. So it's not going to be an unbagging; it's more of a reveal. So no technical difficulties this time. In fact, I've actually improved my setup a little bit here. But I'm really excited to show you some of the things that I've found in this big bundle. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually move my Hulk way over here, and this is just going to continue to build up with all the stuff that I found. So let's start off with this really weird big guy in a big hazmat suit with the flamethrower. I don't know who this is. It is very detailed. It's very stylized. It's almost like, kind of zombie-like. But I can't place him. Off the top of my head, I haven't really explored this character yet. If you happen to know who he is, or maybe I'll do follow-up videos and some research after, this is just one of them. He was in a package all by himself. I couldn't turn him down because he's just such an unusual and wonderfully detailed figure. I love that the clothing has some nice wrinkles to it. It's simply painted, but painted very well. And it's very, very sturdy and very well made for a figure. There is some rotation articulation as well as up and down and joint articulation. It's not just standing. It's got kind of a weird limp to it. It almost implies that he's kind of a zombie underneath this hazmat costume. So it's very cool. If you happen to know who he is and what series he's from, please leave a comment below, and I will definitely do some follow-up videos on some of the items that I've done in past ones, so that you can see what I've been learning as I do my thrifty collecting journey. So this was pretty cool. Okay, so next up is actually a series of Dragon Ball figures. These all totally look bronzed. They're so cool. So Dragon Ball is like a martial arts kind of cartoon. Lots of dramatic, overly dramatic powering up and such, and they're just such like they're very, very noble characters in their series, but in classic anime style, it's ridiculous when they fight because not only are they very stylish, but they're ridiculously overpowered, and they have there's like whole sequences of them just powering up. The classic Kamehameha is one of the big fireballs from Goku, one of the main characters. But it sometimes, to power up that Powerball, it takes a whole episode just to power up, and the other guy is just watching him. So Japanese anime style is very different from North American Hollywood style. These are Dragon Ball Z characters, or Dragon Ball Z3 characters from the year 2000. They were Burger King toys. So they originally actually came with a base that actually they would mount in, that would have their name and actually a little collectible card that would sort of describe what he does. If I recall correctly, this is Goku here. This one is Super Saiyan Goku, which is a powered up version of him. We also have Frieza, who was kind of like the anti-hero and villain combatant in the cartoon. There's also Vegeta, who was always Goku's rival. He always insisted that he was better than Goku, but Goku would always show him up. And then this is Krillin, who is one of Goku's very loyal friends. So the reason why this really appeals to me, first of all, they're really nice and stylized. They are static. They're molded as one piece. They don't stand very well without their base. So if you did display these guys on a shelf, you would have to use some sort of maybe poster tack to keep them standing, especially this Super Saiyan one. He seems to be a little bit top heavy. So he's sort of leaning on Frieza there. But yeah, I love the bronze look of them. They look so neat. And they're very detailed, very true to their animated counterparts. Just the shading and the minimalistic color is really neat. It's like little bronze statues, but they are just plastic. They're not very weighty, but look at that. That is so cool. And if you ever watch the Dragon Ball Z characters like in action, it's just a very dynamic and exciting show. So not a bad find. That was all in one package from Value Village, which was really cool. So up next, we have a few more mini style figures here. In my last video, I showed that I found some Galactic Hero Star Wars, like a Galactic Hero Star Wars figure. This one is actually another one from that Galactic Hero series. It kind of looks like Obi-Wan with the brown cape, probably Clone Wars style. Which I've never watched, believe it or not. Shame on me, being a Star Wars fan. I call myself a Star Wars fan, but I haven't watched all of the neat animated features that have come out. But yeah, Galactic Heroes are more of a stylized figure that's geared towards a younger crowd. But as you can see, they're actually pretty engaging figures. This poor C-3PO has seen better days, obviously. His paint, his metallic covering has been stripped off his face. I kind of like it because it sort of gives him that a little bit of character as far as a figure is concerned. But it is very shiny and gold, but it is a very lightweight molded plastic figure. Very nice. Complementing like this little display here, this Clone Trooper there is actually from a series that used to be called, well, that was called the Unleashed series. And there was a bunch of Unleashed armies. So this was actually, would come in a set of 5, and they would be positioned in these dynamic poses. They're not posable. They come like this, but they're made to be displayed as a little army. So this was perfect for army building if you're into that. And they used to come in sets of 5. So about $20 for a package. So it's kind of neat to see some of these crop up in somebody's donation bag. It's a really, really cool figure. Not very easy to find these anymore. So it's not something I would part with right away. But I love the detailing in the Unleashed figures. They were stylized and detailed, much like McFarlane characters were, and made to look very dynamic and ready to go. So this guy is Thundercracker from the Decepticons from the Generation 1 Transformers. And there was a series, much like the Galactic Heroes, where they were sort of like miniaturized a little bit stylized, and shrunk down and squished almost. But they came in 2 iterations actually. This one's plastic, but I remember having some of these that were actually die-cast metal. And there was all kinds of characters. There was Optimus Prime, there was Megatron, there was Bumblebee, there was Cliffjumper, there was both Thundercracker, and I think Skywarp was another of the Black Jets, and Starscream. So all of the Generation 1 characters that we know and love, if you are into Transformers, they were all stylized in a series of these figures. I haven't seen them in forever now, and catching one in a Value Village bag is always exciting for me because I really loved these characters and just the way they're styled, right? So that's pretty cool. And then again, in the vein of the Galactic Heroes kind of series, G.I. Joe, among Marvel and DC and other characters that have been stylized Galactic Hero style, this is Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe. So he's battle ready with his sword in hand there, ready to go. The quiet, silent type in the cartoon, but always a kick-ass ninja character. So anyway, more finds, more cool finds from Value Village. Okay, next we have a few Disney-oriented figures. Now, these awesome guys, I mean, how can you go wrong? Like I've said, I have affinity for Disney characters. Donald Duck from the Three Caballeros. Here's Aladdin's from Aladdin, the genie. We've also got the lovable orangutan from Jungle Book, as well as Pumbaa from The Lion King. Look at his face; that's awesome. Like I said before, I love Disney characters. I love the way they're very true to their animated counterparts. They're just really bright and happy kind of figures. So if you're even remotely a Disney fan, how can you turn these guys down? Obviously they're a little bit of a contrast from superheroes and science fiction and big zombie hazmat guys, but I have multiple displays. So I can show these off among my other Disney oriented characters. So very cool. I thought those were really good finds. I think these were all in one package as well. Well, I'm quickly running out of room on my table here, which is great. But let's see. I'm going to show you a few other little guys that I managed to find in these packages. This was a big run from Valley Village, actually, when I think about it. Whoops. This is Aquaman. And this guy is one of Batman's foes. I forget his name, actually. He was actually from a Burger King or McDonald's series. And these little guys, I cannot identify, actually. They're very, very, very small. They're very, very tiny relative to the other ones. And look, you can see Spidey here. Very stylized, shiny Spider-Man there. So, anyway, I've seen a lot of these guys. I've seen Batman and Superman stylized. The oversized chest, the minimalistic lines is very reminiscent of the Justice League, the current Justice League cartoons that are out on Teletoon and Nickelodeon and whatnot. I can't say I'm a fan of it because I'm used to the more stylized figures where they're a little bit more leaner. These are exaggerated proportions to sort of emphasize the hero-like quality of them. I like the style. I haven't seen the cartoon yet to see them in action, so it doesn't speak to me like the other heroes. Also, Aquaman. You know, I'm more of a Superman, Batman kind of guy. Aquaman is very cool that he can talk to underwater animals, and he's a master under the water. But yeah, I think this more complements it with my existing DC Heroes set than actually something that I would seek out by itself. But nonetheless, a really cool character, very brightly painted. This particular one is in pretty decent condition, and he's got the smashing action with his arms there. The other ones are all static, but nicely detailed. This series of figure here with this guy, this purple guy, that was from the Batman, a Happy Meal series. I just thought that these were really cool because they had such nice detailing in them for small figures. I mean, it's limited detail for a small figure, but considering what they were, I thought they were quite stylized and quite appealing. So always fun to find those kinds of things in my Valley Village bags. And for my last guys, I'm going to show you that I found these other Happy Meal oriented toys, as well as a couple of Mario figures and this really creepy Pop. I'll get to that more in a little bit, but first let's start over here. So this little Yoshi is actually part of, believe it or not, it's part of a candy package. I found these at Dollarama. It's neat that they were actually in a donation bin. I've bought this candy package just for this cart. Is it a pullback? No, it's not. It's a push car. Okay, so it is a push car, but it's a really nice Mario Kart push car. My friends and I, when we get together on Thursday nights, I can play guitar, and I also play piano and drums, and we're not a band, but we like to play music together. And, you know, it's just a bunch of guys clinging onto their youths, reading comic books and listening to cool music, playing cool music, and playing video games. And we're very competitive when it comes to video games. So Mario Kart has been part of my Thursday nights, my occasional Thursday nights. And so whenever I see a Mario Kart figure, it's just one of those gotta have it. So Yoshi is a pretty awesome character. My friend Vic loves playing Yoshi. He's very maneuverable on the track compared to the other characters. But yeah, this particular this particular toy is really nice. The tires are nice rubber, feel like a nice rubberized plastic, versus just being like solid plastic wheels. So they're a softer plastic. But this is nicely molded. It's really nicely painted. Very cool. Now this guy is actually from the Super Mario figure set. They used to come in individual packages and as well as a big box set that had like 5 or 10 of them. And classic Super Mario pose, jumping up to hit one of the question mark blocks or whatnot. The problem with this pose, though, is that as dynamic as it is, it just doesn't stand. It's one of those more to play with versus displaying. If you have ideas on how to stand up some of these characters or have links to some places that might actually offer a means to stand up certain figures, please comment below. That's always useful for when you're thrifty collecting. You know, you get what you get, and you unless you're really handy in modifying characters, you might need something special to hold it up so that it will stand in a dynamic pose like that. But this is a really cool figure. Usually you buy these for like $7 or $8 each. Again, it was part of a really big package, so I got it on pennies or the dollar, right? These are Happy Meal toys as well. Animaniacs, classic Warner Brothers here. I was a big fan of these three. They were a great after-school silly cartoon to watch. And the Three Chickens is, I think, from the same series, but I can't place them. If you happen to know who the Three Chickens are, please comment below. But I thought these are just so stylized, so nice. Animaniacs was one of the chase ones in my haul here. Just lovable, silly characters with really vivid imaginations. Just a fun cartoon to watch. Now, before we get to the creepy clown, I just want to look at this guy really closely. So this guy, sorry, here we go. This guy, I'm not really sure if it's a Lord of the Rings character or not. I'm not sure if it's one of the Uruk-hai. It doesn't quite have the same helmet. But it is a very stylized character. No sword included with it, unfortunately. Very limited posing. It's got very straight legs, so it does stand fairly well, and it's got some creepy detail to it, but I'm not sure if it is a Lord of the Rings or not. Again, if you do know, if you have any comments on that, on more knowledgeable about this series, please let me know. But this guy I am familiar with. Now, Funko does not only make pops. Like, I've got a Hulk pop back there, I've got a TIE fighter pilot, I've got one of the World of Warcraft characters there. But Funko also made these little minis. This is a creepy mini. If you know of the new movie It, this is Pennywise the Clown, based on the old original It miniseries that was on TV by Stephen King. So this is Pennywise, the creepy clown. I was very fortunate to find this. I think it's a chase figure for me because Pennywise is very sought after. They re-released a new Pennywise It Funko Pop, and much more in the regular pop size. And in that spirit, I'm actually really happy to find a Pennywise for myself, even if it's not an original pop. These Funko Minis are pretty cool. Love how wonderfully colored they are. Love the molding of them. Very sturdy, very nice. Quality figure. This is sometimes easily like an $8 or $10 blind bag, so you don't even know what you're going to get. So to find one within a package of other toys for maybe about $4.99 at the most at Value Village before any discount, this is a super find. So thank you for visiting Richard's Corner. I hope you really enjoyed this particular video and maybe just this change of format here. Changing it up a little bit, just experimenting with the different ways to film the reveals and maybe make it more engaging for everyone. If you have any comments or would like to know more or have some input about some of the things you saw here today, please leave them in the comments below. I love the feedback. I love that this budding channel has a few people interested in more thrifty collecting videos, and I hope that you enjoyed this one. So I wish you happy collecting. I wish you happy hunting, and we are signing off from Richard's Corner for now. See you next time.